If you are on a self-discovery journey, this podcast is for you. We will explore personal growth through storytelling, candid conversations, and practical strategies to help us navigate through life's challenges and rewards. This is your Access Has Been Granted podcast, the off season. So I just finished recording the last episode of the off season, and I am officially on day 53 or 54. I can't even remember. Of 75 Hard. And I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I've had, some revelations that I've had in the last, what has it been? 9 weeks? 8 weeks? So if you're not familiar with what 75 Hard is, it's a challenge. It's really a personal development challenge. And in that challenge, you are expected to do 2 workouts a day, 1 in the morning. My schedule is 1 in the morning. I do it outside. It's for purposes of grounding. It's 45 minutes. I do a 2.5 mile walk over the bridge in the morning prior to my work day. So it's the first thing I do. You're required to read 10 pages of a physical nonfiction book. You're required to drink a gallon of water a day. Another workout that's 45 minutes, but it's intended to be strength training of some sort. And what else did I miss? And a progress picture every day. So throughout this process, you are building a life of structure and habit. And I think for a lot of people, it looks like it's a physical challenge from the outside because you're working out twice a day. You're sticking to a diet. That's another thing. You're sticking to a diet. You're working out twice a day. You're drinking a gallon of water, and those big pieces just make it look like a fitness journey. But the biggest takeaway from me has always been mental clarity. And I say always, this is my second time doing 75 Hard. And it has been the mental clarity and the spiritual connections that I have with God in this process. I can hear God the clearest when I am in my full self doing these daily habits the way that I'm supposed to. Pushing your body to do 2 workouts a day, progressive overload, getting heavier in weights every time, the cardio getting more extensive. It is a spiritual connection. You have to almost talk to God sometimes to get through these processes. I have many moments where I'm like, Lord, please just let me get through this. And it's mental. People say it all the time. It's a very mental process. Even when I'm in the gym and I'm thinking, I have a real bad habit of underestimating myself. And I am strong. And sometimes I feel like I'm just not that strong. And I enjoy being in an environment where people are like, you can do it. Just try it. Because a lot of times I would stay stuck. And that's why I also don't work out by myself. I need a group. I need collaborative effort when it comes to my fitness journey. Because sometimes you just need somebody to be like, hey, put 5 more pounds on there. Sometimes my trainers sneak and put 10 pounds on there while I'm not looking, and I'm lifting the weight. And I'm like, why this heavier than it was before? Because they know and see the potential in me. And a lot of this process that we do with the podcast is the same way. I see the potential. I see my potential. I see your potential. And I just want to give us a different perspective than what lives in our head on a consistent basis. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the themes that I've have created for myself for 2025 while doing the 75 Hard Challenge. As I explained, the off season for me is the winter solstice, that time frame between in November, December, up until March when spring starts. A lot of people in the world, societal norms is to celebrate the new year in January, set your goals in January, and start there. For me, it took some time and self-awareness for me to realize, but that doesn't work for me. In that January, February phase, I'm still down low. I'm still reflecting. I'm still figuring out what 2024 was. I'm still figuring out what has happened in the whirlwind of 2024 in January and February. And when I realized that around in like 2022, 2023, I stopped subscribing to the thought that I had to have my goals set in January and I had to know what my life was going to look like before the year started, and I had to have my goals set. So what I've used the off season for, as we've gone over in multiple episodes, is to reflect, recharge, to rest, to figure out what progress I made, what skill sets I need to develop to get to the next step. And that's what I did. And 75 Hard has become a part of that process for me because of the mental clarity and because of the clarity that I have in my hearing. I can hear God clearer. I have made 75 Hard a staple for me every year because I need God to give me what I need in order to make this year the year that it's supposed to be purposefully. Again, we're talking about making our passions impact. We got where passion makes impact, where passion makes impact. So I want to take the time to share with you the themes that I've come up with for myself, two themes and an affirmation that I've come up with for myself for 2025 throughout my 75 hard challenge. Got to pull out my notes. So the first theme is, and I wrote this on Instagram the other day. Sometimes I write my thoughts in my notes to share with people. I don't know who sees them. I don't even care. But in that moment, I'm like, let me just share, because that's another thing I'm trying to do. As much as I'm getting in front of this camera and on the mic, I still need to work on sharing my real thoughts in real time on other platforms. I get these downloads, I hear these things, and I might share them with my friends, but I don't share them with the general public. And then maybe a month or two later, somebody's sending me a video, and I'm like, I just said that probably like 2 months ago, and this is one of them. So when me and Nakia decided that we were going to create a community around 75 Hard, the both of us have this sense of heaviness, or had this sense of heaviness. Like, oh my God, when we have people doing it with us, how much responsibility is on us. I don't know if I want to be responsible for this many people. I don't know if I want to be responsible for their progress. What if I mess up? What if, what if, what if, what if? And in February, I heard God say to me that I did not ask you to carry that weight. You have chosen to carry that weight. The only thing that I have asked you to do is be obedient. And one of the biggest themes of 2025 for me is obedience. I will hear a word and he will tell me to do something, and my only job is to be obedient. And that is what I'm focusing on. I don't have to focus on the skill sets that I'll need in the future. I don't have to figure out if I have the resources that I need to get the job done. If he gives me an idea, i.e., Google the Google the uh Google the podcast studio and see if it's one near you. That's all he told me to do. I got on Google. This one came up. I came, I saw, we conquered. Now we're on to season 2. I never needed to figure out all of the logistics. I just needed to do one step at a time. So I want to encourage y'all to embrace obedience. If you are in a space where you can hear clear, and your spirit is telling you to do something, just do it. You never know what's going to come out of it. And it's not your job to figure it out. Again, trust in the process. As long as you're doing these things with good intent and it is an investment that is going to push you forward, just do it. Be obedient, do it, and let the things that is going to happen happen. Just work and flow. Be obedient and work and flow. That's the first theme that I've come up with for myself for 2025. The second theme that I've come up with for myself in 2025 was based on some of the books that I read during 75 Hard. One was Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And it focuses a lot about, in the beginning of the book, about how we allow our past to dictate our future. And the other day on Instagram, I wrote and I said, don't let your past trick you out of your future. And that is a theme for me, because sometimes we don't realize that a lot of our mistakes that we've made before, a lot of the things that has happened to us, a lot of the experiences we've had with people will stop us from creating the life we want to live. And I don't want that to be my life anymore. I don't want to let my past dictate my future, or my past experience to trick me out of the things that I need to do in order to get to my future self. So that's my second theme. My third thing is less of a theme and more of an affirmation. I have been repeating this for quite some time. I talk about Pastor a lot in New Orleans that I follow on social media, and he does these prayer talks every morning, Bible talks. And about last week or so, he was talking about new revelations and being a good steward over what you have. I've heard this over and over again. I've read this over and over again, that God is not going to give you the desires of your heart until you can show that you can manage what you already have. And I have asked God now for new revelations. God, give me fresh revelations to show me what I have not done with what I already have access to, what I have not done to the things that I already have in front of me. Give me new and fresh revelations so that I can be a good steward of what I already have. And that's my only focus. Again, being obedient. My obedience in that process is this is what's in front of you. Manage this. Yeah, you have goals set for the future. You have all of these things that you want to accomplish, and those things are clear to you. You will get to those. But in the present moment, you need to be focusing on what you have. So I've asked God over and over again every day, give me new revelations, fresh revelations, so that I can manage and be a good steward over the things that I've had. That I have, not that I had. I want to just share that with you guys really quickly and encourage you to have some themes for your life and your seasons, because sometimes we need those things just to have some kind of structure. Like, I am weird. I'm an Aquarius. I know some people don't even care for zodiac signs, especially Christians, but I'm a consumer of all things. If it feels good to me, it makes sense. I kind of indulge. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I need structure. I must have structure, because if I don't have structure, I am prone to crash out. I don't want to crash out, but my spirit is a free spirit. So I have to have structure on a day-to-day basis. And then I have to schedule those moments when I get to fly off fly off the deep end. So for me, it is a revelation of my authentic self. Like, create this structure. Have these things on your wall, in your mind, in the forefront all the time. So even when you do jump off the deep end or you crash out a little bit, you always come back to what is. You always come back to what you know you have in front of you, and you become a good steward of those things so that you can gain and have more. So this year, that's my whole plan. My plan is to be obedient, to make sure I don't allow my past to trick me out of my future, and to continue to look for fresh revelations that will give me space and opportunity to be a better steward of what I have, so that in the future I can receive the other things that I envision that will make me the best version of myself. Again, I hope those things encouraged you to go down your own path and journey. And I cannot wait to see you guys in season 2. Your girl's going on a little hiatus because we got to work. I won't be in front of you, but I'll be in front of this camera getting stuff prepared for you. And I'll be on Instagram doing some lives and all of those other things in between the season. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. We'll do some live talks. And I also want to incorporate live sessions, like live coaching sessions. I've entertained the thought of workshops. I've entertained the thought of making it a part of season 2. Y'all let me know what y'all thinking, because I think that each guest can have a little mini coaching session every time. What you think? What you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. DM me. Let me know how that sounds for you, because I want to bring life coaching to everyone. Everyone needs a life coach. I need a life coach. You need a life coach. So I want to bring these ideas and perspectives to you. So what's the best way to show you what life coaching looks like besides in front of the camera? So y'all let me know which way that makes sense to you guys, if you want to see it in episodes or if you want to see it as single episodes separate from the podcast, and I'm gonna make it happen. I can't wait to see you guys in a few months. Talk to y'all later.